All right, so I don't think I'd really consider myself an audiophile, maybe more an audio snob. Not really looking to craft some kind of notion of an ultra premium listening experience, but I like a lot of practicality. I like a lot of overlap. And that's what's kind of interesting about where we're going with a lot of premium options now. So Audeze, the Mobius, we're trying to tick a lot of boxes. We're trying to check off a lot of potential uses. So you're gonna hear that trio for music, for movies, for gaming. Those are usually segments that are best served by having individual practical solutions for each one of those types of activities. I think we're growing up, especially from the gaming perspective, not everything being overtly Mountain Dew fueled and hard cable connected. We're learning a lot of lessons from other areas of recording and from sort of multimedia consumption. And that's where something like the Mobius joins a conversation better than I would have expected it to. We not only have the wired versus wireless debate, you know, a lot of mobile devices are starting to lose headphone jacks, the iPad is starting to lose a headphone jack, so I think a lot of consumers are already naturally gravitating towards some kind of wireless solution, but we've got a really clean design that looks like I think this is a happy balance between something that's almost broadcast, but it still has a little bit of flair, it still has a little bit of an aesthetic that that brings a little life to the design. It's not just a black broadcast headset, like something you'd see on a sports broadcast. So really what we're hoping to accomplish now is, if we're going to spend that kind of money, a premium mobile device, a premium laptop, we want a premium audio solution that's gonna fit with that. And we also want to make sure that this can be used for a variety of different solutions, a variety of different interactions. So Mobius, I actually spent the majority of my time with this headset watching movies. I know part of this is the 3D head tracking technology, the gaming aspect of this. I'll be perfectly honest, for a lot of software developed virtual surround sound types of solutions, this is one of those things where I get a little cranky that we don't have the audio standard that we have for things like visuals. Like, we don't have a DirectX for sound, where I think some game titles do a really good job of putting you spatially in an environment. And then the head tracking technology on the Mobius does a great job of playing along with what you're experiencing for visuals, especially as you're sort of navigating a space virtually, as well as using that audio information to kind of fulfill that same type of exploration. There are just as many times where the way a game processes audio, I started having more of a vertical halo effect, where the sound spectrum felt like it was just a couple degrees off from where my ears were actually trying to focus. Everything that goes into making a great gaming headset plays phenomenally well for other pieces of media, especially action films. And that's where I really do like what Audeze is trying to accomplish with this, because you have to walk very delicately between the different worlds, between gaming, between multimedia, between music. You know, something that's going to do really well for gaming, you want to be able to impress with a bit more rumble, a bit more presence, the audio that you feel as much as you hear, because that's going to make the impacts, the explosions, the drama of a tense boss battle is really going to shine through on something like that. And of course, for an action film, that goes hand in hand. You have to be really careful, though, when you start getting into things like stretches of dialogue, or when you're listening to music and you want to be able to pick out a little bit more nuance. I was really happy that these didn't stomp all over the mids. Jazz, classical, guitar, especially different types of instrumentation, distortion, that buzz in the mid-range. I'm very sensitive to where the human voice lives. That's the quality of sound that I want up front, and I want everything else supporting it. I think, depending on what types of tracks you listen to, depending on what kind of music you listen to, like especially if you're listening to a lot of live classical recordings, for example, some of those mids and some of that nuance can kind of get consumed by the juicy, the impressive sounding, the saturation of the crystal highs and the bassy bass. But on the whole, I thought these did a great job of that kind of representation. Again, it's one of those areas where this market, this segment, they're growing up. We're growing up. You know, what settled for just the mega bass skull rumbling of the past, we can't really get away with that anymore. I think audiences and consumers have gotten just a little bit more sophisticated in what they enjoy and what they're trying to accomplish. And just, again, we want to be able to fulfill a variety of different interactions and a variety of different uses, because a premium purchase, a premium experience like this has to go hand in hand with a broader ability to keep up with the type of media you consume. So I was really pleasantly surprised spending some time with the Mobius, especially for that ability to very seamlessly move between different computing platforms to accomplish different tasks, where I might be watching a movie on a phone or a tablet, pop directly over to my laptop and fire up a game, and then seamlessly, while on that laptop, also tackle a Skype call. You know, that type of interaction, that type of experience was something where even a couple years ago, we had a lot of difficulty tying all of those pieces together. And now we kind of demand something a bit more straightforward, something that works a bit more seamlessly from platform to platform to platform. And I think a lot of us are multi-platform kinds of consumers, where you might have Windows or Mac or Android or iOS. It's not okay anymore to just have one solution that works just with one ecosystem. To their credit, that's another area where I think Audeze is doing something really smart. If we're gonna be charging a premium, and there's a lot of functionality, this is a super flexible headset, this is a super flexible gadget, it's not enough anymore to just be flexible. You also demand a certain type of quality. And I think the choice of going with LDAC as a form of audio compression was the right move. There's gonna be a lot of debate as to what audio codecs are the best or which are providing the highest quality, but really we just want something that's better than standard Bluetooth as a way to send information back and forth between device and then to the drivers and to the DAC and the amp that are built into this headset. So as long as we've got some type of higher quality data stream fulfilled, then I think most people who are looking for some type of improvement to audio quality, they see the price tag for something like this, I think they're gonna be more satisfied with the overall experience given what's already coming here. We have a lot of hardware solutions that sound really impressive on paper, but if you're feeding it just sort of a normal wireless audio stream, then you're really not maximizing what that hardware is capable of. And for those times where you might run into a situation where the batteries are dying, or you just want the consistency. We also still fulfill that with a cabled connection too. So very well accessorized. I love the look. We can talk about the premium build quality and the feel and the finish and the materials, but ultimately I think this is an appropriate ask for what Audeze is charging for the Mobius, because this is gonna be one of those headsets with the rare exception of someone who might be into sort of really aggressive workouts. Maybe that won't be the type of solution you want. I don't like working out with earmuffs on my heads, but I think these could go a long way towards fulfilling that usage too if you're that type of individual. But it's gonna cross over and it's gonna fulfill so many different applications that I think most consumers are gonna be satisfied with that price-performance ratio. I think a lot of people are gonna be satisfied with knowing it's gonna follow me here, it's gonna hook up to a game console, it's gonna hook up to my PC, I can use it on my phone. That takes a lot of the pressure off for what we're trying to accomplish in one purchase. The way that they're addressing a gaming community, I think, shows a lot of respect for someone who's gonna enjoy sitting down, getting that rumble, getting those explosions, really getting into their immersive environments, but is still gonna wanna take something away from that experience and still enjoy other types of media too. I think a lot of consumers are getting more sensitive to that as electronics are becoming lifestyle companion gadgets. They're becoming more expensive. Our phones are becoming more expensive. Our gaming peripherals are becoming more expensive, but at least they're also getting nicer along the way. They're complementing other activities better than gaming headsets of old, especially the more aggressively styled gadgets of old that we used to game with. I was very pleasantly surprised spending some time with the Audeze Mobius. I was expecting something just a bit more skull rumbly and something with not quite as much nuance as some of the other Audeze products I've tried out in the past. And I'm happy to see they brought a very similar attention to detail, attention to nuance as many of their other products, which are more conventional audio or headphone solutions that I've tried in the past. So definitely something I would put on the list. That gamer who's looking to step up a little, looking for something nicer, and also looking for something that's a bit more flexible. Not just plug it into a console, plug it into a PC, but can follow you around and also do a good job with other types of media. The Audeze Mobius, check them out. You can hook them up here on Newegg if you want. You can do your shopping here and get yourself something really nice and enjoy the audio, the movies, and the games that you play. check them out.